Well, welcome in once again, everybody, to what promises to be another exciting and informational and relevant program on the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers. I'm Dennis Silvers, your host for the show. Glad to have you in today, and hope you're enjoying what you're doing and getting out and playing some golf. The weather here in Las Vegas is still humid. It's still a little bit muggy, and we got clouds, and it's still warm, though. We're in the middle 90s, but like everybody, they're trying to get out early to avoid that humidity because it does take a toll on your body, I think, both mentally and physically. But other than that, things are jumping here in town, and all is well. A lot going on in the golf world. As you know, we're going to be talking about the LIV Tour with our special guest today in just a moment. Two other big names just kind of jumped ship, if you will. Bubba Watson gave up his membership to the PGA Tour. Cam Smith is headed over there as well. So as predicted, and as we've been talking about, slowly but surely, they're making plays for these guys. They're offering huge sums of money. And it is what it is, and the PGA Tour has just taken some terrible raps. As you know, they got sued for antitrust. I think they've probably going to settle if they were smart, because otherwise it's going to cost them a hell of a lot of money. I was in contact this morning talking to the tournament director out at Trump National, where they're going to have their final event. And of course, they're very excited having that. I think they're in Chicago, outside of Chicago, at Rich Harvest Farms this week, which is another spectacular golf course, but a lot going on. Also, I want to mention, and I've been talking about it the last couple of weeks, the 19th, a week from tomorrow, out at Angel Park, you've got a great event out there that raises money for the children of Gold Star families. I've given you the website. Call Angel Park if you want more information, or let me know. You can find my email online. It's just a fantastic event. I told you at the beginning they're going to have a bunch of people jumping out of a helicopter. Actually, it's a gunship helicopter, and landed on the golf course and playing 18 holes. I've got some special guests coming. I'm fortunate enough to MC the event, and just in case, I will give you the link so you can have it before the show is over. So we hope to see you there. Anyway, let me give you a little bit about our guest today on the show. Rich O'Brien is currently a member of the board of directors of the National Alliance for Accessible Golf. Rich is also a golf writer who writes about golfers who use golf as a therapy to recover from various injuries, illnesses, or other challenges that they may face. Rich himself survived some, multiple injuries that included, get this, a broken back, a broken neck, skull fractures, and brain damage from being tossed out of a golf cart, if you can believe that. But I'm going to let him tell you this amazing story, what happened, and how literally he survived. It's incredible. Rich was a co-founder of the initiative PGA Hope Charleston, and is currently the co-founder and director of the Hero Golf Therapy Program, offered through Stand Up and Play Foundation. And this program is set up for emergency responders and their families. Rich is also a performance coach. He has trained in sports psychology and exercise science to help golfers on all levels, as he also is a certified adaptive golf instructor. So right now it's my pleasure to bring Rich O'Brien on the show and welcome him in. Give him a big round of applause. Yeah, everybody in the studio is going crazy. Rich, nice to have you on, my friend. It's been a while since we've chatted.
It has been a little bit, Dennis, and I'm happy to talk to you on there about adaptive golf and live, especially there. Two
Yeah,
great topics.
two great topics. Before we get started, Rich, with the interview, please tell our viewers about your accident, which is incredible, that led you to the journey that you're on right now.
Well, I had been a performance coach working with some different touring players and different elements that way there, sports psychology and the short game especially. And, that was an interesting side. I was down at Kiowa Island at the Seek golf course there. And that particular golf course, the Low Country doesn't have a lot of hills. It's the Low Country for a reason. But that golf course has the second highest hill in the Low Country, about 80 feet, 90 feet of elevation.
Wow.
As we were finishing up the round, it was a shotgun start. We're on the third hole. We were coming back to the clubhouse. We had to go over Mount Watson, as it's known. It's like a roller coaster going down this hill. And as it had a sharp turn to the left at the bottom, I got thrown to the right. And it was raining that day, so the cart kind of skidded, apparently, is what I understand. And I got thrown from the cart. There's a 2-inch curb at the corner of the cart path. Apparently, my shoulder slammed into this cart path, completely destroying my right shoulder. Wow. My head and neck snapped around. The base of my skull hit the curb as well. Fractured skull in 4 places, broken neck, C1, C2, broken back, L4, L5 on that as well. Blood seeped into my brain damage in every lobe. Basically the equivalent of multiple strokes, multiple aneurysms.
Wow.
At the scene of the accident, I literally died 3 times, I understand. They brought me back. Significant amount of time gone each time. Luckily, there was an EMT working at the golf course. He brought me back in a shortest amount of time possible. Then they called in for life flight, and that wasn't available, so they called in the Coast Guard.
Wow.
And a medevac. Luckily, the Coast Guard helicopter was about a mile away at the time. Got there as fast as possible, got me to MUSC, our local trauma hospital, on that. So these 2 programs, the HERO program for emergency responders and the PGA Hope Charleston program for our veterans, are dedicated, especially in my opinion, to the Coast Guard staff that helped save my life, as well as the EMS staffs that saved my life.
Yeah, it is, Rich. We're so happy you're here today. It's just an amazing story, and it's like the old joke, Rich. Will you hurry up? I've got to finish the round. You know what I mean? I'm playing good. Hurry up with it.
Well, we were finished with the round, and it took me 12,000 hours of rehab to recover.
Oh, my God. That is just an incredible story. Rich, if you know, what is the percentage of adaptive golfers in the United States or maybe even worldwide? Because the latest information I have, Rich, is the NCAA probably estimates about 8 million adaptive golfers or people with injuries, so on and so forth, handicapped players would consider playing or getting back into the game. Do you know any figures on that?
I've written extensively about the numbers of disabled individuals in the country. There's 64 million individuals in this country with some form of disability. And of that percentage, 13.7 are mobility challenges. I believe your number of about 8 million, 8.5 million adaptive golfers is about correct. The National Alliance for Accessible Golf, we're doing research on that now to try and get a closer number on it. Some of the research that has been done is kind of dated, and we're trying to update that as much as possible through the golf industry.
Right.
But yeah, there's a significant number of adaptive golfers in this country.
Oh, totally. And, I mentioned at the top of the show, as you know, you're a golf writer. How do you select the people or get in touch with the people that are going through this that you want to write about to bring their story to everybody else?
Well, it originally started, in the golf industry on that. And the first stories I wrote about were Eric Compton, who was a friend of mine down in South Florida with the double heart transplant on that. One of the next stories was Dennis Walters, and I just recently updated that one as well. Then I started covering local stories. I had, of course, written our book about my first student, Fred Gutierrez, who we wrote Half Paralyzed, Twice Strong with. And Fred's paralyzed on the left side of his body. Amazing thing, if got serious brain damage on that and had to learn to walk and talk again. Writing a book's a big challenge, and somehow I was able to do that. We had a good editor helping me, and I refined my skills as we went along, which was real fun. And my stories, inspire people. My stories, they tug on heartstrings along those lines. But many of my stories have been about some of the veterans in our veterans program, and some of the emergency responders, then other individuals I get to meet across the country at adaptive tournaments. If I find a great story out and about on there, I'll get in touch with the person. And what I do is I don't write necessarily about the person. I write it with them, and I tell their story. Which, for individuals with PTSD, especially with addiction, for them having the opportunity to tell their story, that's wonderful for them.
Oh, it's fantastic. Eric Compton, we've had on the show. Hell of a good player, hell of a nice guy. He's a brand ambassador for our title sponsor, Encore Golf. And I've met Dennis Walters many times. In fact, I emceed an event here in Vegas at a TPC Summerlin where he put on an event, and the guy is just amazing. And I forget, was it Benji? Was that his dog's name at the time? I know he's gone through several.
Yeah, he's had like 5 or 6 therapy dogs over the last 35, 40 years. 45 years, excuse me, at that point. And, as part of the condition for him playing in the current U.S. Adaptive Open, he said, "I'll play if you let my therapy dog ride along."
That's great.
And they said yes.
And they said, yeah. Well, they would have been dumb if they would have said no. And I'm coming up to that particular tournament pretty soon. I want to ask you about. But, Rich, how much more difficult is it for a disabled golfer when it comes to understanding the mental part of the game? It's difficult enough for, the weekend amateur player to get it, to utilize, the mental game. But I've got to assume that's got to be even more a great challenge to somebody who's trying to overcome an injury or something.
Well, to a certain extent, you got a couple different categories. You got individuals that might have a brain injury, and for them, understanding certain things may be troublesome, might be hard to remember. You got individuals that might be in the military, that from their standpoint, the regimen and the process of a pre-shot routine reminds them so much of their military programs and how they fire a weapon. The pre-shot routine of firing a weapon and pre-shot routine of hitting a golf ball are very similar. So I use all of that, and I tie in for our veterans as much as I can from their military training. So you got to know who your students are on that side. The first responders, a lot of the same things. It's a lot about process. Individuals with other challenges, you try and teach as simply as possible. And from that standpoint, we don't have a lot of excess information we're giving them. We're making the instruction as simple as possible, and they improve very quickly from the simplicity, as opposed to a lot of things you don't have to think about. An instructor can give them too much information, which slows them down.
Right. Yeah, and that's true with anybody, because, as you know, there's some dialogue going on. We talked about it on the show last week or before about how some industry people think golf lessons are too long, too much information to absorb for 45 minutes or an hour or whatever. They want to see it cut down to about 20 minutes or whatever, and working on one thing. So I guess it's just personal preference. Rich, before we take our first break, what are your thoughts about the recently played U.S. Adaptive Open Championship? I know Ken Green's a dear friend of mine. He played. Other people I know. I think it was absolutely fantastic. What are your thoughts about it?
Well, I absolutely love it. One of the first things, when I got on the National Alliance for Accessible Golf Board of Directors is, I wanted to see us promote adaptive golf tournaments because I thought it would really grow the game for the number of adaptive golfers. When adaptive golfers get to see someone that looks like them playing in a championship like a U.S. Adaptive Open, that's going to grow the game. That's going to increase all of our participation in all of our clinics. And that was a huge thing. And for the USGA to do that, because the National Alliance is funded by the USGA or has been throughout. So it's all the major alphabet soup of golf coming together as one board, and it's a wonderful thing that way there. But the U.S. Adaptive Open is going to increase participation in adaptive golf considerably.
Yeah, I mean, it was great because it was open to, any kind of abnormality or handicap that you have, men, women, whatever, and it was just, it was tremendous, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. We need to have more of that. Real quickly before we take our first break, as long as you talked about growing the game, what do you think the USGA, the PGA Tour, the LPGA, the R&A, whatever, what the hell do you think they got to do to grow the game?
Well, it's from a standpoint is showing, different categories. We talk a lot about diversity, inclusion and equity, or that side of it there. A lot of times individual disabilities are left out, and they're 25% of the population, or 26% of the population is a disability, where some of the other categories might be 12.5% of the population.
Yeah.
We want to have more individuals of color certainly playing. We want to look like our communities, but in order to do so, we have to also include those with disabilities. And now I think we're finally doing that. USGA having the U.S. Adaptive Open. It looks like the PGA might have an adaptive tournament in the future as well. There may be others. The R&A had a wonderful thing with the 150th anniversary of the Open Championship, including some adaptive golfers there. There's the series in Europe as part of the European Tour. I'd love to see a similar series in the United States for adaptive golfers as well, tied to the tour. There's a lot of things that could be done. As I said, when you show individual disabilities, other people competing successfully that look like them, they will start to play.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I've had the privilege of playing with some adaptive golfers, and people would just be blown away as to their skill level and what they can do and their attitude. It's fantastic. Anyway, Rich, stay with us. We're going to take a short break and back with more with Rich O'Brien.
Welcome to Tea Time Fitness with Janice. Hi, I'm Janice Thornton, your golf fitness guru. So today let's talk rotator cuff because we want to make sure that we have great shoulder stability and we want to keep that rotator cuff strong. This is a great exercise for that. Grab a TheraBand, you can grab some tubing, put your arms so that you're forming a 90-degree angle, shoulders down, scapulas down. You're going to tuck your abdominals in. We're going to go out, leading with your hands, go out and back in. You're going to go out and back in. Lead with those hands and going out and back in. We're working that shoulder, that rotator cuff. Now, when you finish your set, do 12 reps. I want you to do pulses. So you're going to be out here, and then we're going to do some small pulses. Do 6 to 8 small pulses and hold that last one and let it come on in. Your shoulders are going to love you. Take your golf game to the next level and get to jtfitnessandgolf.com.
Are you an E or a C?
Both have Ridgeback. These are loaded with tech.
Which one are you gaming? Definitely E for me.
It's just so forgiving.
I'm definitely an E. C is for Cheka. What else?
C is for kill it.
C is me. Low spinning bombs.
So, are you an E or a C?
I don't know. Hey, wait a minute.
Pound for pound, nothing comes close.
All right, welcome back, everybody. As the sign said, and Rich, there was your guy, Eric Compton, for you. I just teed that up beautifully.
Yes, you did.
By the way, before we continue with Rich, I said I would put out this website for you. Go to Honoring Heroes Charity Golf. You could either Google it. I think it's honoringheroescharitigolf.org. And again, it's on the 19th of this month. Shotgun start out at Angel Park here in Las Vegas. And it's just a fantastic event, and hope to see you out there. All right, Rich, we talked about it the other day. Give me your thoughts, your opinions, your advice, whatever. Let's talk about the Saudi Live Tour.
Okay, well, there's a lot to talk about.
All right, go ahead.
From that side. So, from a standpoint, my overall solution we'll get to later on. I think it all boils down to the world ranking points. That's what everything's really about in this. All the lawsuits, all the different animosity from that standpoint. The PGA Tour wants to keep access to the world right points at a minimum for the live players, because they think that since the major championships, the entries, a lot of it is the top 50 ranked players in the world, unless you've won one of the major championships in the previous 5 or 10 years, except if you win one tournament, you can play until you're 60 or 65 on that as well. So they want to limit the ability of these players to get there. But, quite honestly, I don't think, it's good for the game of golf to keep these players out of, some of these major tournaments, because sponsorship and audience, your viewership.
Right.
If you have missing 50% of your top, marketable names in game of golf, which otherwise would be 25 of the top 50 ranked players in the world, if it was done equitably at that point, you're going to lose out on a lot of fans. You're going to lose out on a lot of viewership at that point. And, sponsors of these events, if they lose half their audience, are they really going to want to pay for, the ads the same way? They're going to want to renegotiate their contracts. The ABC, NBC, CBS, and all the other channels, they just paid, $9 billion or something like that for the next 9 years. Yeah. I guess like $7 billion, excuse me, but it's going to come to like $650 million a year for the media rights. It might only be worth about $400 million or $350 million if they don't find a way to have an equitable solution. And I think everybody's got to come to the table. That's the big thing. They got to talk. Otherwise, it's going to be in court, right? And we can talk about the court cases there, and it's going to take a few years before everything plays out. But I think it's definitely in the best interest for the game of golf if they sit down and do something out of court before it gets out of hand. Because
I agree. And I think they're going to, if they were smart, I think they would come to some settlement. But you see the comments being posted, Rich, and you talk to friends. They're going, you know what? I'm losing interest in watching this PGA Tour event for the first time ever. I don't recognize any names on the leaderboard. So they're kind of turning it off.
And that's what I'm talking about. If you don't have marketable and recognizable names on that, you got a lot of rookies or young guys coming up, filling the spots of these major champions. You take a look at a lot of the guys that signed with Live, not all of them, obviously some aren't recognizable either, but about half of the guys have won a major championship. They've won World Golf Championships. They've won Players Championships, which by all measures, objectively, makes them one of the top players in golf.
That's exactly right.
And to keep them out of major championships on that, I think it smells of monopoly.
Yeah.
And I think the FTC and the DOJ will recognize that. You've got, previously in 1994, the DOJ ruled on the PGA, right? And what they ruled back then is, they gave the PGA Tour a warning.
Yeah.
They scraped by the skin of their teeth on that standpoint there, that, they were allowing and do allow players to play in other events worldwide on that side. They get releases. But what happened in that 25 to 30 years? The PGA Tours grew more together there. Basically, every PGA Tour around the world, the federation, is a feeder tour now for the PGA Tour.
That's correct.
And the PGA Tour, you take a look, the FedEx, it funnels into the FedEx Cup.
Correct.
There was the World Golf Championships, but those 5 tournaments are down to 1 now at that point. And it's in the United States. It's not a world tour.
Right.
And that side of it. So, in many ways, the PGA Tour looks like a monopoly. And from there, I think they're going to have to live and let live in order to, get over some of this. Otherwise, the PGA Tour could be in deep trouble.
Yeah, that's well said, Rich. And one other thing I found it very interesting that the other day I was reading, I guess it's contained in the lawsuit, Rich, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Tiger Woods was mentioned because purportedly Tiger Woods was asked by the PGA Tour to start bad-mouthing especially the younger players from jumping ship and going over there. I find that very interesting.
Well, I hadn't read that side of it there, but there's you got Rory McIlroy on the player policy board,
right,
and on that being a spokesperson as well on that, and Tiger was offered $700 or $800. It was $800 million by LIV on that, and he decided not to do it as well. But it's an interesting combination. That was before Greg Norman started as the CEO,
correct,
as well. But that's an interesting combination, and it's the game of golf, as you talked about. People are getting turned off by strong arm tactics.
Yeah,
they're getting turned off by the animosity, the over politicization of it. We've watched other sports. We've watched football, basketball, other sports that got too politicized, and what happened? The fans tuned them out. The revenue from advertising went away.
Great point.
And we can't have that happen for golf.
No, that is a very, very good point. Let me ask you this. 2 questions, Rich.
Sure.
Have you worked with any golfers that were blind? And number 2, what is the commonality of problem that you work with most of your students with?
Okay, number 1, blind.
Yeah.
I have worked with blind golfers before, and as an adaptive coach, we have a fun thing what we do when we teach adaptive coaches how to teach that. We put blinders on basically, and we ask them to hit opposite-handed. So we're basically taking their skill away and making it unfamiliar. We're muscle confusion, it's called. And when we do that, they've got to swing, like I'm right-handed, I have to swing left-handed.
Right.
And I've got partial vision starting out. And that way you have to learn how to trust your sight coach, because we teach sight coaches. And we give them a whole process. And as part of sight coaching, we have to make sure that the student understands they have to listen to the word all clear, because what that means is I'm out of the way, you can swing, because otherwise you might hit me and hurt me badly at that point. So that's good. But as a sight coach, what you need to do is you have to be their eyes. They got good ears, they can hear and see things, they can feel what the ball is coming off the club face.
Right.
But from that standpoint, you described a shot. And a big thing is the ball position and getting that set for them. It's fun working with blind golfers on that side. I enjoy it because I'm very verbal and I'm very descriptive on that side, and I understand that side. And one of my students, one of our guys here in Charleston, is known as the Midnight Golfer. And we have a night golf tournament. We joke that at the night golf tournament, he's at equal level playing field.
I love it. That is awesome. What is what is the commonality of problem that these individuals have, mostly that come see you?
Well, for our Hero Clinic and on there especially, I'm facing a lot of individuals with mobility challenges. With the Stand Up and Play Foundation, we have the Paramobile. It's a great device, a wheelchair that allows it hydraulically lifts to stand them up to play their shots. A very similar position as they would if they were able-bodied to that point there. And the Paramobile has a foot plate, a knee strap, a waist belt, and a chest strap that keeps them in and prevents injuries from occurring, even though they may have osteoporosis or other injuries that way there. That's a great device.
Oh, yeah.
And then on top of that, I work a lot with brain damaged individuals like myself along those lines, and I'm a good mentor for them because half my brain is supposed to be dead. On that standpoint, I had to learn to walk and talk again and go through some different things, and 12,000 hours of rehab. So with them, I can talk the same language for them and tell them what worked for me, especially. But with a brain injury, you might be paralyzed on the left side or right side. You might have coordination issues. You may have aphasia issues and other things like that. Every injury is different, but we have a lot of brain injuries at that point. This morning, I was working with an individual that 20 odd years ago had a car hit him head on. And he was in a coma for months at that point. He basically had to learn to do everything over again, diffuse brain damage all over. He's used 22 adaptive sports in order to build up coordination, and his graduate level course is golf. And this morning I had him in the Paramobile. I've got him using that as a standing frame mostly at this point. And he's using that to hit shots, and he's getting back into the game of golf. And that's a wonderful story there.
That's fantastic. That's got to be very, very rewarding to see. All right, Rich, we're going to step away again, take a short break, come back. We're going to finish up with our special guest, Mr. Rich O'Brien. We all know that just about everything today is getting more expensive, and golf is no exception. Well, I'm here to tell you about one golf company that is designed to save you money. That's right, I said save money. Welcome to BreakfastBalls.golf, a company that sells the best used golf balls in like new condition at a fraction of the price you'd pay anywhere else. BreakfastBalls.golf carries all the popular brands of balls, from Pro Vs to Callaway to TaylorMade to Top Flight and many, many more. They even will ship you colored golf balls if that's your choice. They offer a great membership program as well, where members receive free shipping all of the time, plus great discounts. Save money and time. Go to breakfastballs.golf and check them out. So why not give yourself a breakfast ball on every tee, not just the first? Go to breakfastballs.golf and save money. Hey golfers, I've been a golf talk show host for a long time, and I've been playing golf even longer. Being in golf media, I've had the chance to play every ball ever made. I've tried them all. Well, my search is finally over because I found the best ball I have ever played with. And more golfers are finding the same thing. I started playing with the Elixir golf ball made by Encore Golf. Encore Golf has revolutionized both their golf balls, the Elixir or the Avant 55, or the brand new Vero X1, to where the performance of either will simply blow you away. It did me. If you're looking for better performance and durability with your ball, Encore Golf has it. Don't just take my word for it. Check them out at EncoreGolf.com and you'll become convinced, as I am, the first time you tee it up with Encore. It's the best performing ball for the price. Go to EncoreGolf.com and see for yourself. Your scores will love you for it. That's ONCORE golf.com. If you're an avid golfer like I am, how great would it be living on a golf course? It's fantastic, but you're probably thinking golf course property is just too expensive. Well, I'm here to tell you that the folks at RWM Home Loans here in Las Vegas can make it happen. RWM Home Loans in Las Vegas will access a wide variety of ways to customize a loan to help you get into that golf course property or anywhere else for that matter. They offer first-time home buyer programs, jumbo loans up to $5 million, and even reverse mortgages. So do yourself a favor and call Casey Zari right here in Las Vegas at 702-888-2251. Get started on that new home or property. That's 702-888-2251, or just go to rwmhomeloans.com. All right, welcome back, everybody. We're finishing up our show with our special guest, Mr. Rich O'Brien. And Rich, what would you say is not necessarily the best, but a very helpful way to help you and the organizations that you're involved with to bring more awareness to adaptive play? And also it takes money to do these things. What would you put out there for people?
Well, for the Stand Up and Play Foundation, you can visit standupandplay.foundation.org on that. And the program, the HERO program is on the front page, and that's under the programs as well. You can find out more information about what we're doing and how we're helping emergency responders and other individuals with challenges. And we develop a community for them as well. That's a wonderful way to check that out there. You can go to the National Alliance for Accessible Golf, or accessgolf.org as well on that one there. That's the National Alliance for Accessible Golf page, and that page there is everything we're doing, trying to get an information source for adaptive golf on that, from the teaching side, the competitive side on that, the research we're doing. That's a wonderful thing. And then, there's some other programs as well that can be done. But definitely, if somebody wants to make a donation to our programs, the Stand Up Play Foundation, we have that on the website as well.
Great.
On the Alliance page, there's donations page as well on that. And a little bit of money would go a long way towards increasing activities on that. We're trying to start other HERO clinics across the country as well at our other sites. Our program here in Charleston was a pilot program last year, and it was extremely successful and sustainable. I think that program has proven that it's something that's been needed for a long time. And now we've got three locations in Florida that are going to be starting up, or one has already started, and a few more will be. And looking to have many more as well partnering with us. So a little bit of money would go a long way towards helping us to be able to help more people.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I know that you are available for lessons. And number one, how do people reach you? And number two, how do people come to you? How do they get to you?
Well, I have my website on that there through Sports Connect on there, and that's on my Facebook page and the Rich O'Brien golf page on Facebook, which somehow since Live has started, I've gone from a reach of about 50,000 to about 800,000 now, trending towards 1 million in the last 2 months.
Wow.
I've got a forum on there about Live and having adult conversations about it. No anger on that page, where we keep all the fake profiles off that page through some of the different protocols they have set up. We've had some great conversations on there that are fruitful, where, the truth comes out. And as an objective journalist, I try and make sure that what we're saying is the truth. And I do a 360-degree view and then go to 30,000 feet and try to say, okay, this is what I think is happening, I see happening. and I use objective, provable stuff with it.
Yeah.
Like last night, there was the information about Cameron Young probably going to live. Well, actually, that was a rumor that was quickly proved false on that side, and he's apparently going to stay with the PGA Tour.
Sure.
But there are other players that are on their way out.
Yeah.
To live at that
Right.
point. So we want to make sure that the correct information is there.
Oh, totally.
And work through.
Yeah, totally. I predict.
But yeah, my go ahead.
No.
But
Go
the
ahead.
Rich O'Brien Golf page on Facebook is a great way to reach me there from
Okay.
a lesson perspective, adaptive golf on that, from a sports psych perspective.
Awesome.
I've worked with about 2,000 players in 30 plus years and on that side. And it's like, wow, I've brought about 1,500 players on the golf course for their first rounds, which is talk
awesome.
about growing the game.
You're
huh?
not kidding. That is awesome. That is awesome. I can't wait to send you the link, and hopefully you'll share it with all of your followers and stuff. Rich, I appreciate it. You do such great work. You're really to be congratulated. Great speaking with you.
Thank you.
And we'll keep track, and we're going to have you back sooner than later, my friend. I thank you.
I appreciate that, Dennis. Great to be on your show. Look forward to being on again, and
Yep.
Happy to be on.
Good deal. Keep up the great work, Rich. We'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, Rich O'Brien, everybody. All right, we'll step away, take another break. We come back, we're going to wrap up the show. Be right back.
Innovation begins at a single point. Elements, each with their unique character. Fire-forged steel creates unprecedented control. Chemistry delivers a touch so soft, combined to create a level of performance previously unimagined. Like magic, the Elixir, the new Tour Ball from Encore.
As golfers, we want instant gratification when it comes to a better golf swing and playing better golf. Impossible, you say? Not anymore. Golf Boost Artificial Intelligence, AI, has developed and patented the most advanced swing analysis technology in golf. Simply, the algorithms detect your body position and then analyze your golf swing using their artificial intelligence technology. The AI captures all the relevant data from your swing video and then presents you a personalized lesson. Golf Boost AI is the ultimate swing analysis and virtual instruction system for golfers of all ages and abilities. This sophisticated software takes into consideration your height and build, playing level, and returns the ideal solution for your swing. Bottom line, Golf Boost AI is an incredibly convenient and cost-effective tool for golfers to improve their swing. Go to golfboost.com and check it out. The app is free to download and try. Visit golfboost.com today.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I just want to give a shout out again to Rich O'Brien. Does just a fantastic job with the people that he coaches and actually mentors, and just a terrific guy. Also, Janice Thornton came to mind. I've had some rotator thing, and I've talked to her on the phone. She's given me some exercises to do. She is just absolutely fantastic. So at jtfitnessandgolf.com, if you're having any kind of those issues, definitely go see her. And Golf Boost, I've got some friends that recently have downloaded it. They swear by it. It just, you got nothing to lose. Do it, and I guarantee you're going to get better. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the 19th Hole Podcast for golfers. I've been your host, Dennis Silvers, enjoying doing the show as always, and we're going to see you back same place, same time next week. So keep it in the fairway, everybody. See you later.